Hey everybody, and welcome to Woodcrest Bonsai. Today I'm going to take some cuttings, some rooted cuttings out of their bed and put them into smaller pots. I'm going to grow some as Mame and some I'm going to allow to grow a little bit bigger. And we have a mixture of 3 or even what appears to be 4 different types of ficus. So in the foreground we have narrow-leaf ficus, and they are all growing nicely. They were very thin cuttings. And then this one here, I do believe, is Ficus retusa that must have come from seed, because I do not remember sticking a cutting of retusa in here. And then these guys here are Ficus philippinensis, and they were fairly thin cuttings too, but they have grown quite nicely. And then these 2 really long ones with the triangular leaves are Ficus triangulatus. And they were very small, short cuttings. But holy cow, they just went crazy. If we pan back, the big one's about 3 feet. So I may actually hit both of them. And I believe there's a little tiny baby one down here that for some reason didn't elongate much at all. But the long ones I may actually cut into pieces and root them again. Maybe I should put the camera onto the subject. I'm going to use applesauce containers that have had holes poked in them. And I poked holes at the very base and then up above about halfway. And they're all like that. And I'm going to do my technique where I put a tray like this, poke holes in the bottom of the tray, fill it with soil, and then put the pots with the plants on top of the soil that's in the tray. And this does a couple of things. It allows the roots to move into the soil, and that makes it so much easier to water. Plus, it makes them more stable. If all these guys were just individuals, they'd be falling over constantly. So it gives me a chance to allow them to grow really long and leggy, cut them way back. I'm really starting to get some nice trunks on these guys. These are obviously Portulacaria jade, dwarf jade, but the technique is the same. So holes in the tray, fill the tray with soil, then put each individual cutting into its own pot, and then push that pot down into the soil. So they'll all be growing, quote unquote, as one. So I'm going to get to it. For this batch of trees, I'm using a different tray. It still held chicken, just like the other one, but I guess the vendor that supplies chicken to the store that I buy my chicken at changed to these plastic trays versus the foam, and they're actually sturdier than the foam, so that'll probably work out good. And I've poked holes all the way around that perimeter, none in the middle. And now I'm at filling the soil, and it's just basic cheap soil. You don't need super expensive soil to do this. And then I'm going to begin the potting process. I'm going to start with the narrow leaf ficus, and I have a very old spoon. Just going to come in there from underneath. And grab the tree. It's got 3 roots. Hey! 3 roots is better than no roots. And we're going to pan over here. Fill the cup about 2/3 of the way with soil. And I'm going to cut the roots just a little and then fan them out with my finger. I'm going to take and fan them out so they're all basically, if they were a clock, it would be 12 noon, 4 o'clock, and 8 o'clock. And place them in the pot. This is very important for me because once the roots thicken and get into the position that they're going to be in, that's it. So feathering them out now while the trees are really young is the best thing you can do for the future of the roots. And do we have the tray? I guess we do have to move over a little bit. And then we just put the tree in the tray and I press it down so that those top holes are buried. And that's pretty much it. And I've already lost my spoon. Your spoon, oh, it's hiding. Alright, and another one. This one has a little nicer root system. Got some of the old top of the applesauce. Fresh soil. And I use a little bit of a mound. And I'm going to cut a few roots here, not too much. Doesn't really need it. Then feather it out with my fingers. Put it into the pot. Making sure you've got your roots in a radial position as best you can. And fill the rest of the pot with soil. And then into the other tray. And I don't think I'm going to bore you with the entire process because you just keep doing the same thing again and again. I've got a bigger cutting here that has grown more, so let's see what the roots look like on that one. A lot more roots. Still need to cut. So you think the reason I'm cutting the roots to size for the pot is if I don't, then they'll begin to just circle around, and circling roots is also something that I try to avoid. Feather it out. Nest the roots down into the pot. Now I'm going to cut this guy too. Fill it with soil. And into the tray. I'm going to put this one in the middle here. Like that. So there you go. And then once they root out, they'll be so much easier to water, and they'll be so much easier to keep upright. The tray itself isn't going to fall over unless you let them get, 2 feet. So there you go. This is how I do my Mame pre-bonsai from cuttings. These will be in here probably at least a year. And I'm also going to give them a good fertilizer. A lot of times when I repot a bonsai tree into a bonsai pot, I give it just a light fertilization. But for these guys, it's the middle of July. They love the heat and humidity. Keep them well watered. Give them a good dose of fertilizer to really kickstart their growth. And in about a year, I will show you, maybe even this spring, I'll show you their progress, even though they may not be ready to be pulled out of the tray. So, thanks for watching. If you like this video, I know some people have actually seen this technique and decided to use it, so I appreciate that. It does work for me. I really like this method to create Mame and Shohin trees. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and you can see the next time I notify you about the progress of these trees. Leave a comment if you'd like. And that's it for today. I've got about another 6 or 8 nerifolias. Then I will switch to the philippinenses. And actually, I may fill this whole tray with nerifolia based on the number of pots it's going to take and how many plants I've got. So that would be good. It would be a nice homogeneous mix of nothing but nerifolia. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.